This is Secret America.
Welcome, everybody. I am Jack Danger along with Jay Gatling, and there has been some strange, do we want to call them coincidences? I mean, is that what we want to call them? Because apparently there's a lot of UFO scientists going missing now, which is it's a strange occurrence, because let me tell you a little bit about it. So apparently there were three key figures from the UFO programs that have gone missing, all in strange circumstances. You know, there was engineer Monica Reza. She is an aerospace engineer who invented the patented rocket metals on a government-funded project overseen by the general. She vanished while hiking in 2025, last seen waving goodbye. You got General William McCaslin, retired Air Force Major General who commanded the Wright Patterson Air Force Base, which is like a $2 billion program. He's also long linked to the UFO programs. He disappeared from his home in February 2026, right after Donald Trump had that disclosure news, and then he was never seen leaving, though. He just disappeared. You have Professor Nelson Ackerman, leading ufologist, however you want to say that, and astrobiologist, who disappeared in 2016 during a UFO investigation in Brazil amid strange lights. So apparently these aren't just random people, and obviously they're not disappearing all within like a few days of each other, but it's weird that these particular professions would be the ones that are disappearing, because first of all, these are people that are key to the UFO programs, and there's two more people also, but these are people that are key to the UFO programs, Jay, and they're disappearing. And there's not a lot of these people. It's not like there's hundreds of UFO people that are key to the programs. These are the specific people. So the fact that they're disappearing is very concerning, I would say, especially when Trump said he is going to, he's trying to disclose the UFO stuff, but yet all these people keep disappearing. Maybe that's why it hasn't been disclosed yet. Maybe they're not going to. Maybe they're not going to let Trump disclose it.
Yeah, maybe not. Congresswoman Luna is way into this. Mm-hmm. Congressman Burchett, he also was very interested in this.
Jay's froze up there. So, all right,
how about now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was to say Congresswoman Luna and Congressman Burchett are very interested in this stuff. I haven't really heard anything from them. I don't know if you have, Jack, if they've commented specifically on these disappearances.
Yeah, Burchett did actually.
What did he say?
He did. Give me 1 second. Go ahead. I'm gonna grab it real quick.
Yeah, because when we had him on our show, he was explaining a lot to us about it and basically saying how a lot of this stuff now, there's no Area 51. If anything, this stuff is contracted out, so FOIA doesn't apply. So yeah, he's definitely interested. I'm interested to hear what he has to say about what's going on, because it is kind of weird that a little bit after President Trump announces that, yeah, I want everything you guys know, everything that the Department of War knows, everything that NSA, or everybody knows. I want to know everything that you guys have when it comes to UFOs or alien life or anything. So, and then all of a sudden we have this going on. It's a little bit coincidental, to say the least.
Well, let me tell you what Congressman Burchett said. So he said that apparently these UFO scientists were found dead after testifying to Congress about UFO files. He said, quote, something dark is going on. I know these scientists and researchers. They have testified. We've got to get to the bottom of it. It's just too much. Too much is going on right now. And by the way, I'm not suicidal. He put that out there. He said, I am not suicidal. Let me tell you about the rest of them. Okay, there's two more. So there's five total. I talked about retired Air Force Major General William McCaslin, missing since February 27th, 2026. So his was recent, just about a month ago. We got aerospace materials scientist Monica Reza. We talked about her June 22nd, 2025, while hiking in the Angeles National Forest. MIT fusion physicist Nuno Loureiro shot and killed December 2025 at his home. Caltech astrophysicist Carl Grillmeier fatally shot February 16th, 2026 at his home. And Novartis scientist Jason Thomas, body found in March 2026 after disappearing in December 2025. So all 5 of these, Jay, all 5 of these have been within the last 10 months. All 5 of them. Because you got the first one was June of 2025. Okay. And then the last one was they found the body this month. So it's been all 5 of those in the span of 9 or 10 months is a strange occurrence.
Yeah, we kind of call that a pattern in law enforcement. It kind of, there's a pattern here. All these people had something in common. They were all these physicists or into this realm of UFOs and alien life and discovering this stuff. And I don't know, Jack, has there ever been a cluster like this before where we've had people in this realm disappearing or being murdered or shot or whatever? Has this ever happened before? Not that I can recall. It's not something that I say I'm on top of and always looking to see. But
you're talking about scientists or just in general?
No, I mean, but these scientists are kind of, it's not just scientists. They're all kind of in the same field of science. And, you know, and it's kind of a pattern to me. You have the congressman who we trust. We love Tim Burchett. We call him the most honest person in Congress all the time. And if he's speaking out about it, I think it has to be looked into to see, is there a connection here? I don't know. I'm not saying there is, but can't just say, oh, yeah, it's nothing. When, so like I said, you call this a pattern when certain things that are linked. And the link here is that these are scientists involved in this specific field.
Yeah, not only that, but it's like you said, it's happened within the last 10 months or so, all of them. And it's happened during the time period where Trump was trying to get UFO information released. And it also happened after they all testified to Congress, by the way. So that tells you right there that this was deliberate. It's a deliberate thing, whatever's happening. And I fear that the ones that are missing are dead. I mean, I'm just going to say they're most likely dead. You know, they're Nancy Guthrie. Okay. But I will say that, I mean, you know, it's all, there's nothing more you can do. They're gone. You can try to find their bodies, but I mean, apparently this is going to be a deliberate thing. And it's not what you would consider a normal serial killer. Whoever's killing these people by definition would be a serial killer. I would assume it's the same person killing all these people. And whoever did would be, you know, it's a definition of a serial killer, but it's not really what a serial killer is. Because serial killers usually kill for the fun of it, you know, for the joy, for the, you know, for the high they get from killing. These people, serial killers really don't have any kind of a victim. It's just random killing. But this person is killing these people probably because they're either being paid or they're trying to, you know, quiet them for whatever information they might have because they testified before Congress. Now that the UFO stuff's coming out, I guarantee you when that UFO stuff's comes out, they would have called every single one of them to testify about what's in those files. And now they're all dead. They can't.
Yeah. Or listen, Jack, another thing came to my mind. It might not be just one person that's doing it to make it look like it's random. They might have a few people doing it because, you know,
you in murders, you want to keep the smallest amount of people involved if you can. You don't want to, because the more people there is, the more chance you have of being caught. And if one person can kill someone, if they're doing it individually, it's not hard for one person to go around and do it in separate months, you know, days. It's, you know.
Well, let's get to the bottom of it. I mean, like I said, though, the first thing I need to hear, though, from law enforcement, or maybe they won't tell us, is that there's a link. There's a pattern. Yeah, these might be connected. How about something? Because to just the layman, just we're out here. We don't have any special information. But just to anybody who's paying any sort of attention to this, it's very strange when you have, as I said, a common link to these people at this specific time. When this has started to gain traction, when people who were never really interested in it before, maybe never really thought they'd believe it before, are starting to say, oh, maybe it is. Maybe it is true. Maybe there is something else out there. I would like to know. And now all of a sudden this is happening. It's very strange. And to me, it's just kind of hard to believe that there's no connection. But again, who am I? I'm just out here with the information that everybody else has.
Yeah. No, it's you know, it's almost impossible to think that these are not connected because, like I said, my favorite saying, the one I made up, is too many coincidences equal a conspiracy. And these are all coincidences. You tell me they're all disappearing within a short time period. They're all relatively in the same field. I mean, and then they all testified before Congress, and then this is happening while the UFO disclosures are going on. It's just too many coincidences here. It's definitely a conspiracy to get rid of them for whatever reason. I mean, that's pretty easy to tell at this point. But
I agree.
you know,
I agree.
I don't know what else we're gonna do with that, because I mean, you know, the police obviously aren't giving us any information, and they may not have any information. If you want the truth, I mean, what information do they have? It's not hard for a professional killer to get away with murder. I mean, people think that because of CSI and all that, you know, oh, they're gonna leave behind trace elements of carpet fiber or something. That's not usually the case. Most of the time, there isn't that kind of evidence left behind. Okay, it's not usually a CSI case. So believe it or not, in every year, I believe the statistic was every year 6,000 people in America get away with murder. That was the last time I saw that statistic, was a couple years ago. 6,000 people get away with it every year. So I mean, you know,
a lot of cases go cold. A lot of cases go cold. That's why there's a such thing as a cold case squad, pretty much in every police department in the country, because of cases that just don't get solved, and that's why they have cold case units that try to dig in and do their best to actually bring some kind of conclusion to them. But no, it's true. It's and people watch TV and they think, like you just said, every single murder or every single crime, there's going to be some forensic evidence that they're going to find, and it's going to, you know, lead to the killer or lead to the perpetrator. It's not TV. Okay, none of this stuff that you watch on TV, 99% of it that you watch on TV when it comes to police shows or detective shows, isn't really how it is. Just letting you know.
No, absolutely not. It's you know, those are based on true stories. They're not actually true stories. You know what's bugging me is we're still not up, man. It's 7:11, and we're still not up. God bless America. That pisses me off. All right. Let's see here. Let's talk about something a little different.
Go ahead.
So I wanted to ask you, did you see? All right, so there was this guy, and this is kind of in the same realm, actually, if you want the truth. So back in 1987, on August 19th, 1987, there was a man named Gary Stolman. He was armed with a BB gun. They thought it was a real gun. He was armed with a BB gun, and he went to a reporter on live television, held him hostage to make him say these things that he wrote down, which is the CIA scheming, CIA scheme employing extraterrestrial tech to create human clones, substitute people with them, and ultimately dismantle the U.S. government. Does that sound like what's going on now, if you want the truth? That sounds like a little bit of what's happening. We got the masks, you got the body doubles, you got the way they're pretty much destroying the freaking government. And this was what? 30, almost 40 years ago, man.
Yeah. 39.
That's pretty
39.
incredible. I want you to take a
ago.
listen to this, okay? We're going to play the whole thing. It's 2 minutes, 15 seconds, and we're going to play this real quick for everybody because, honestly, I think he did know something. I think he figured out something, and he had no way to get it out there. Nobody's going to listen to it. What do you do, Jay, if you have information that could possibly help and save, lives? It could make sure that the U.S. government doesn't crash. Make sure these people don't destroy the government. What if you have outlandish information that nobody would believe, so nobody's going to say it? What do? He did the only rational thing he could think of, which was go on live TV with this reporter and make him say this stuff so everybody knew about it. So I want you guys to check this out. Take a listen, and you can decide for yourself. This is very interesting stuff right here. Okay, let's take a listen, guys.
Mail order. Pardon me? What is this? Let me see what it says. All right. All right, well, let me read this. Folks, we have someone on the set who's standing here and would like me to read this copy which was just handed to me. You want to tell me your name or not? What is it? And Gary, where are you from?
At that point, the control room was ordered to go to black, kill the studio mics, and put up a standby slide. But Horowitz continued to read, and the gunman kept the gun in his back.
I was warned in 1981 by someone with connections at the CIA to stay off the computers, that they didn't trust people on computers. calls from my parents, which led me to believe that something terrible was going on. I was then forced into a mental hospital in Tallahassee, where I learned that my brother-in-law had been driven insane in the same manner that someone was trying to do to me.
Police, who by then had entered the facilities, made plans to deal with the situation. But when the statement had been read, the gunman placed the gun on the desk and anchorman John Beard grabbed it.
Now, did you see that? The gunman had no intentions of hurting anybody. He just wanted them to read that information because he had no other way to get that information out, Jay. I got to say, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, that was crazy. The craziest part of that is how calm that news guy stayed. I mean, he was, I got to be honest, pretty professional. I mean, the guy's got a gun in his back and he asks him his name, reads his statement. And like you said, after it's over, the guy goes, all right, puts the gun down. I did what I needed to do. I wasn't here to hurt anybody, but now my statement has been read and now I will leave.
See, that doesn't seem crazy to me. The man.
No, the crazy part was how I'm saying the crazy part was how calm the news guy stated. The guy with the gun was cool as a cucumber.
Oh yeah. No. I wasn't saying that you think it's crazy. For everybody else out there, though, what he said is the important part. Okay, the reason he did it is because nobody would believe him. He couldn't get it out there, and he wasn't crazy. You could tell. After it was over, he put the gun down. He let them arrest him. He didn't try it. You know, he knew he was going to get in trouble for this. He was doing it for you, Jay, and for everybody else out there. And believe it or not, 40 years later, he's pretty right on the money, if you want the truth.
Where is he now? Do we know?
I do not know, actually, but it'd be interesting to find out. They probably killed him, if you want the truth.
I mean, what happened to him? He's obviously arrested, like you said. I'm sure they sent him for a psych eval, but I wonder where he is now. That was, I never saw that before. It's amazing. I've never seen that before.
Yeah, pretty cool though, right?
Had you seen that before, Jack? Today?
Oh, I see everything. I know
you
all,
do.
and I
Did
see
you see
all.
that one? Did you see that one?
Oh yeah,
I never saw that one before.
it's interesting. But I never played it before because we never really had UFO stuff like this. But I'm telling you, it's very interesting because the reason that he said that is because they are using extraterrestrial technology, that they reverse engineer kind of stuff. And that's how they were able to clone people. I mean, if you've seen like Joe Biden, you could tell there were multiple Joe Bidens. You could tell by the ears. First of all, his earlobe was away, right? And then another Joe Biden, it was connected to his freaking head. How in the hell does that happen?
No, Joe Biden was egregious. We had one that was like 7 feet tall. He came out one time. I remember one time that Joe Biden came out and he was like towering over everybody. But meanwhile, every other time he's around the same height as everybody around him. You had that. You had the one that we played with the makeup, with the under the chin, when it was all of a sudden completely black and the face was white.
Crazy.
You had that. The Joe Biden ones to me was so bad. They would have been better off trying to run AI with Joe Biden. But also funny, the ironic thing is when Joe Biden was president, with all the times that he was lost and shaking hands with nobody, or remember the time when he was out, I think it was at the G7, and he's just walking over to talk to paratroopers when he's supposed to be taking a photo. Oh, these are all deep fakes. These were all AI. No, actually, those were real. See, that's the thing about them. Those were actually real of Joe Biden not knowing what planet he was on when the actual Joe Biden was, put in front of a camera. So that's the funniest part about it. No, those weren't deep fakes. Those were real. But Joe Biden is probably the best example of what you just said of just, no, there's no possible way that a lot of the people we saw as Joe Biden were Joe Biden. It's impossible. It just doesn't. So many egregious errors, the ears, the height, like on and on.
Oh, no, absolutely. And that's why, it's happened to multiple people. So it's funny how people 40 years ago thought the man was insane, but he did not do anything that was insane. I mean, he did the one thing, the only thing he could think of. He was not insane. He didn't try to hurt the guy. He put the gun down immediately after the guy said what he said. He didn't even bring a real gun because he had no intention of hurting anybody. It was a BB gun. He just wanted to get that out there for you, for everybody out there. That's not a crazy person that wants to help people. Okay?
Yeah.
He's trying to tell you.
No, it doesn't fit the profile of somebody that's crazy. He didn't act crazy. He obviously believed in what he was doing, acted calm, and once it was done, like you said, surrendered to whatever was going to happen to him. He just was desperate to get that message out. So you have to take that into account when you listen to what he said and decide for yourself on it.
All right, Jay. So let me ask you. You've heard of the Black Plague, obviously, right?
Yes, the bubonic plague.
Yeah. So what if I told you that as part of the reparations for Black people, there is now a white plague? They call it the White Plague now.
What?
Not the bubonic plague. It's a different plague. I'm gonna let you check this out right here. It is called the White Plague. Can you see this right here?
Yeah.
That is the White Plague right there. And they're saying it's deadlier than COVID and becoming antibiotic resistant. Apparently, they want you to be scared, and they want you to be, while you're scared, they want you to be inclusive, and they want you to be anti-white at the same time. See, white plague makes you think, oh my God, white people can give it to me, or oh my God, why it's the white person's fault. That's the point of it. Why call it a white plague when I call it a purple plague, a green plague, a yellow plague? No. It's the white plague, Jay.
What is the white plague, Jack? What does it do?
I have no idea. I just know that it's a virus that's supposedly deadlier than COVID and becoming antibiotic resistant. That's all I know about it.
Oh,
and
really?
That it's a racist plague, apparently.
Oh, okay. All right. So another reason to be afraid of white people, and white people are bad. I got it. Yeah,
that's the whole point. I mean, that is the whole point of this. Okay, here. So let's look at this right here. I am going to. No, there's no way that's what that is.
I just listen, Jack, to be safe, I want people to stay 6 feet away from me no matter what. How's that?
So, Jay, apparently, do you know what the white plague is?
No.
It is, they're calling it tuberculosis is the white plague. They are changing the name of tuberculosis to white plague specifically to hate, specifically to, I guess, drag white people down.
How is that? Tuberculosis can affect everybody. What the hell are we talking about here?
Yeah, no, if you go on, if you go online and you type in white plague, that's what you're going to see. You're going to see, you're just going to see tuberculosis. Go ahead and type it in real quick. See what it says. See what you
Where do you want me to do it? You want me to do it on Google?
Yeah, just type in white plague. That's all you got to do.
Okay.
You will see, you'll see tuberculosis as the white plague, which is very strange to me.
I got a New York Post article that shows up right away.
Mm-hmm.
It's deadlier than COVID, AOL.com, becoming antibiotic resistant. Okay. All right, here we go. Tenement Museum, whatever that is, says tuberculosis, the white plague.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. American.
They want to call it the white plague instead of tuberculosis for a reason.
Yeah. It's always been TB. Mm-hmm. See, that's how I always knew it, Jack, because when I was working, you would obviously have to be careful when you touched people. You didn't want to, prisoners or whatever, just dealing with the public. You wanted to be careful, and you had to get your TB. They gave you a TB resistance or vaccine, whatever it was. And it was just TB, no white plague. Never heard of this before. When did this start?
I have no idea, but it's definitely the white plague now. It is no longer going to be TB. It is the anti-white racism continues.
All right, I got to see when did TB?
So it's going to say like the 1700s is when they but they don't call it that.
I want to know, when did it start being referred to as the white plague?
Yeah, I just told you. It's around the 1700s, but that's not what they called it. That's just what they referred to it as, but that's not what they called it.
Never heard it once in my life until you just said it tonight.
Yep. So, Jay, I'm going to go ahead and move on to something that's even crazier. I want you to listen to this. So, did you know that Pentagon officials have revealed that let me see what it says. I think it was the Latin America. Okay, here we go. Pentagon officials have revealed that the attacks in Latin America are just beginning. Listen to this. It's called Operation Total Extermination. That's what it's called. And they said that it's not just going to be Venezuela. It's not just going to be Ecuador, and it's not just going to be Cuba. Apparently, they're going after Latin America in general. That's what the Pentagon says. And it's called Operation Total Extermination. That is insane. I mean, you know, if you're going to do that, call it something else. You know, call it Operation Fluffy Bunny or something. You know what I mean?
No, I think they should just call it Operation Genocide.
So strange, isn't it? I mean, what the hell is that? Why would you say that? You know?
I don't know. Now, does this mean, Jack, that who wants to? We want to basically take these countries over? Is that what we're doing? What are we doing here?
Well, I think what we're going to do is we are going to try to exterminate every single drug dealer there is.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go in and probably replace the leadership, if you will.
Gotcha. Okay, kind of like with Venezuela. Well, listen, get the discombobulators ready. Let's go.
And please change the name of it. My God.
Yeah, they can come up with something better than that. They're usually good at that stuff.
Operation Total Exterminate. That is incredible. That is incredible. Okay, yeah. Why, I don't know why you would call it that. Oh boy.
I got one. Operation Say No. Say no to drugs. So
there
just
you
Operation
go.
Say No.
There you go. See, drugs. I remember when Nancy Reagan told me to say no to drugs, I said yes.
Well, listen, obviously you didn't watch that episode of Different Strokes when Nancy Reagan went on to tell Arnold and Willis and Dudley and Mr. Drummond and Kimberly to say no. You must have missed that.
I was part of the DARE program in school. You know, I was part of the DARE program. I don't remember what the hell it stands for, but I do know that it was an anti-drug program. I remember.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
Yeah, I graduated that program. Yeah, it's an
and you don't remember what the acronym stands for?
Hell no, man. That was like 30 some odd years ago. No, it stands for it's drug something something something.
Yes, definitely drug for the D.
Okay. Jay, you live in the state of New York. So, what would you say if I told you that the state of New York is trying to push a bill through right now, and it probably will go through, that will require people to keep outdoor lights off after 11 p.m. After 11 p.m., you cannot turn your outdoor lights on, not your porch light, not your garage light, nothing. There can be no lights on after 11 p.m.
Are they saying that if I have a light sensor that, you know, if somebody walks property that I can't even have that, so you can get a ticket or possibly even arrested if you continue to do it. Oh, really? Well, come arrest me because I'm going to be guilty. So come arrest me.
But yeah, it's right now. It's in the assembly. They are trying to get it through, and it is absolutely insane. It says the purpose of this article is to regulate outdoor night lighting to preserve and enhance the state's dark sky while promoting safety for people, birds, and other wildlife, conserving energy, yada yada yada. Oh. I will give them one thing. In New York, you cannot see the sky. There is too much ambient light. I'll give you that. But the solution is not to turn off your fucking porch light. That's not going to help.
No, it's really not going to make a difference. And I got to be honest, I don't live in New York City, but where I am, it's a suburban area, and there really aren't that many lights on where it's going to really affect, like you said, the sky, seeing into the sky. It's from all the cities in my area, especially New York City, that probably does it for the entire area, like probably a 50-mile radius that it's going to affect the sky, the skies above. So again, now all of a sudden we're worried about birds and worried about this when they want to build these windmills that kill how many birds? There's these people so full of crap. And I wonder who's paying for this one. I wonder who's getting money for this one, or who's going to have to install the light systems to make sure that they don't go on after dark, Jack, because there's always something. Somebody's always getting paid. Follow the money. And that's where you'll find out where this stupid idea came from.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So, Jay, how would you like to live longer?
Oh, of course.
How would you like to live longer and not get older as quickly?
Let's go. Sign me up.
Okay, so mushrooms, psilocybin, made human cells live 50% longer. A new study has uncovered surprising anti-aging potential in psilocin, the active metabolite produced when the body breaks down psilocybin, the psychoactive compound found in magic mushrooms. In laboratory experiments, researchers exposed 2 human cell lines, skin fibroblast and fetal lung fibroblast, to 100 whatever concentration of psilocin. The results were striking. Lung cells took 57% longer to reach the replicative cell point. That's the point at which cells permanently stop dividing and instead accumulate damage. while the skin fibroblast extended their replicative lifespan by 51%. So get this. Imagine if they can synthesize this into a medication. You take it when you're young, and you, instead of looking like you do now at whatever age you are, you look like you do now when you're 90. You know, you live to be 160, 170, but you look like you do now when you're 90 or 100 years old. I mean, this is incredible. And the benefits extend way beyond cell culture. In aged female mice, 19 months old at the start, which is equivalent to a 65-year-old human, a single monthly dose of psilocybin dramatically improved outcomes. After 10 months of treatment, 80% of the psilocybin-treated animals remained alive compared to with only 50% of untreated controls. Treated mice also displayed markedly fewer visible signs of aging, including reduced fur loss and graying. And that is all with just one dose per month, Jay. That is incredible news. People don't realize how big this is. This is almost like the fountain of youth.
Listen, I'm just going to tell you a little secret. I'm actually 75 years old, just so you guys know.
Oh, what are you, Sylvester Stallone in Demolition Man? You were frozen in ice for the last 30 years?
Yeah, cryogenically frozen. No, and now I know what they gave Mr. Jingles in the Green Mile, that mouse that lived like 120 years. Maybe this is, maybe. I mean, but no, Jack, I don't like mushrooms. So I guess, but these I might try. I might try these unless they say it's too late for me, but I would try these.
No, it's never too late. And get this. Matt Gaetz actually retweeted. This is how I found this. Matt Gaetz retweeted this. He said, "This is the one legislative collab I had with AOC was to expand access to this." And it's incredible. You know, there are states, Jay, where you're allowed to grow this yourself. It's illegal in many states, and I think it's illegal federally. But in states like New Mexico, you can grow it yourself.
Can you sell it?
You can, but the thing is, you have to synthesize it to get. Just eating the mushroom ain't gonna do shit. It's just gonna make you see visions. But you got to synthesize that particular. You got to be able to extract the chemical.
All right, so it's got to go to a lab. So somebody like a science, right? All right, so now we know, Jack, who the next scientists are going to be who have to watch their back. The ones who are going to work on this, maybe, because
but man, this could make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. I mean, people can stay 20 years old for 30 years. I mean, just imagine.
I couldn't imagine. I got to be honest. That's insane. You're talking about expanding lifespans from the average now, probably about 77 to 78 to 80 years old to into the 120s.
Yeah, about 120. Yep.
Jack, now what am I going to do with my Social Security?
You'll stop getting it by the time you're 95. You're like, you didn't have enough.
Yeah. Now you're not going to be able to collect Social Security until you're 80. You have to turn 80.
Exactly. Well, you can. If you take this when you're 80, you're going to look and feel like you're 50 anyway. So
I'm in. Sign me up. Give me those
I will take it right now. I'm in my late 30s. I would love to stay in my late 30s for the next 20 or 30 years.
Yeah. 30s are a great age, great decade, the 30s, especially the mid 30s. That was my favorite.
30s are almost gone. I'm hoping the 40s are also a good one.
Not bad. It is true, though. Once you hit 50, certain things, just like normal stuff, just starts going a little wrong, and you got not even that. It's not even that. It's just I'm telling you, not even that. It's just like little things that never happened before, and you're like, wait, I got to go to the doctor for this. My back, my this, my that. Oh, I got to go to the dentist. This is starting to. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah, it starts falling up. Yeah. But with this, when you're 50, when you're 50, you could be 20. You could be 20 physically and be 50 years old. So, we're probably still 5-10 years away from this action because they got to do human trials. Maybe not 5-10 years, maybe like 3 or 4 years. But we're still, years away from, first of all, it being available to humans. I don't even know if they'll actually make it available to humans because what it would do is increase population massively. Okay.
Oh yeah.
It would not be sustainable. The amount of population there would be if they gave this out to humans. Second of all, even if they did, the price for something like this would be astronomical. Nobody could afford it.
You know what else though, Jack? That's true. And Deborah, no, it's Matt. He was talking about Matt Gates, not Bill Gates. It's that Matt Gates.
Yeah, it was Matt Gates. Yeah,
the former congressman. I understand if it was Bill Gates, we'd want nothing to do with it, but he'd want nothing to do with it because, like Jack said, it would actually help people stay alive longer. And Bill Gates wants to do the opposite. But
what you that up. Go ahead.
No, but the thing is, what this would do, a benefit would be, though, yes, people would live longer, but it sounds like it would keep you healthy, where your medical issues would certainly decrease to the point where that would decrease the burden on healthcare, hospitals, all that stuff. So who knows? Listen, get it to me before I'm 60 and I'll be happy.
Absolutely. No, and it does. It increases all of that. I mean, it really does. So, and it makes it to where, you don't age, you get the same benefits as if you were, the age you are when you started taking it. It's almost like, now it doesn't stop you from aging because you age slowly, but it's almost like if you ever read the book Tuck Everlasting, when he drank from this magical river and water from this river, and it made him that age forever. He was whatever age he was when he drank it forever. So, and it's similar to that. Obviously, it's not, you're going to not live forever, but it's pretty incredible. And I can tell you that was just with one dose a month. If they up the dosage, who knows how long you could live? 200-300 years.
Yeah. What did I say anything about side effects yet, Jack? Obviously, everything has a side effect. So did they even mention it?
Not yet. There has not been any side effects yet, luckily. So we're getting there with no side effects. It sounds like a good thing. The problem is, like I said, it's going to be extremely, extremely expensive if anybody can afford it at all. We'll have to see. You'll have to wait and see about that. But I'm glad you brought up Bill Gates. Tell me what you just said about him again. Say it one more time for me.
Well, Bill Gates is the opposite of wanting people to live longer. Bill Gates is about reducing the population. That's Bill Gates' thing.
That is exactly what he's about. And have you ever heard him actually say it, though? Have you ever heard him say, I want to reduce our population?
I haven't heard.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Is there something?
I want to show you something.
Okay.
Right here, he talks about how he wants to reduce the population through vaccinations, through healthcare. Yeah. That's how you reduce the population. Listen to this. I want you to take a listen to this.
The world today has 6.8 billion people. That's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
We could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%, Jay. He said we're going to have possibly 8 billion people, but if we do a good job with the vaccines and the healthcare, we could lower that by 10 to 15%.
Wait a minute. The whole point of vaccines is to make sure people don't get sick, I thought.
Well, no. See, that's why he did the COVID vaccine. It killed a lot of people. It maimed a lot of people. And that was the whole point of the COVID vaccine. Not just that, but there's little pieces of metal and stuff that were in the COVID vaccine. Little very tiny, minute pieces that is possible if there's some kind of a signal that could possibly kill you. Like a 5G thing. I don't know because we don't know what was in the vaccine.
Well, also, it might have an effect on future birth rates. We don't know that yet either.
It does sterilize some people. It has done that.
Well, there you go. They're putting it in these little kids that don't need it. Like babies are getting it, and they're zero risk, basically, of dying from COVID, and they're putting it in these babies. And let's see now, 15, 20 years from now, how many kids that were born during this era have issues having children.
Absolutely. And he said it. He said it right there for all of you guys to hear. He said, the population is going to grow to maybe 8-9 billion. If we do a good job with vaccines like the COVID vaccine and healthcare, we can reduce that number by 10 to 15%.
If we do a good job. Okay. That'd be a great job, Bill Gates. Let me tell you, that guy. Did somebody find something about him that we could charge him with? Because I know there's got to be something.
Oh, there's tons, but they're not going to ever do it. I mean, there's nothing they're ever going to do to him. I mean, God, that would be insane.
Diabolical.
Absolutely. Okay. So I want to ask you something. There is a thing right now, and actually, I think this is a brilliant business move. If you ask me, this is brilliant. I saw an ad for this, Jay, and I'm gonna advertise it too. I want people to see this. Let me see if I can find it real quick because it is brilliant. So apparently, you know how Nancy Pelosi and all them make lots of money through the stock market?
Yeah.
Well,
Absolutely.
get this. Check this out. Okay. This right here is a business called right here. It's called the Nancy Pelosi Stock Tracker, but it's not just Nancy Pelosi. You can actually connect to a broker, choose a politician, and let them invest for you. That means your broker, whatever that politician invests in, your broker will invest in for you immediately. That is brilliant. I personally would like to connect to that and get Nancy Pelosi. I want my broker to do everything that Nancy Pelosi does in the stock market. This is a brilliant, business, I think.
There's one thing. Here's the thing. They don't have to report their trades for 45 days under current law. That's the problem.
Well, I'm sure they know how, because everybody that does trades, they know them immediately. Just like the trades that were done. See, there's ways to track these things. They don't have to report it, but there are ways to track these things. Just like somebody tracked the fact that 15 minutes before Donald Trump announced the halt to firing against Iran, 15 minutes, there were people that dumped hundreds of millions of oil futures. Hundreds of millions, because they knew the oil price would plummet after that. I want you to take a look at this, okay? They knew that the oil price would plummet after that. Let me see if I can find this. I don't know if I had it, a minute ago. But anyways, they knew the oil price would plummet after that. So what did they do? They sold it. I mean, immediately sold it. And they knew about it because they did it 15 minutes beforehand. So this stuff can easily be tracked.
Yeah,
it can definitely be tracked.
Yeah, somebody leaked that, obviously. We know that. Somebody leaked that so certain people could get ahead of it. But yeah, the stocks, listen, I think personally, forget about having to covertly trying to track it. Their trade should be made public within an hour. What is this 45 days? It should be made public. Anybody in Congress, if they're still allowed to trade, their trade should be made public within an hour. Why not? Why?
Oh, by the way, I want to show you something, Jay.
What is that?
I want to show you. You remember how Netanyahu did that live? The live that he did?
Yeah.
I want to show you something interesting, Jay.
The press conference?
Take a look at this, okay? Can you see this? Take a look at this. Look how easy that is. Incredible. That was a live right there that he did. Look how easy that is. It's amazing. It's amazing what they can do with technology.
Why did Netanyahu make himself look like that kid?
Yeah. But is that not amazing though? I mean, I could be you and it's incredible. It's incredible what they can do.
I hate it. I got to be honest.
So there's no way to know if that was him or not because those things can easily be done.
I can't stand it. I hate it. This AI is good for certain things. This AI where you can make yourself into anything, I cannot stand this. I hate it.
No, it's rough, man. It is really rough.
It makes it so hard to believe anything at this point where, and misinformation can be put out, or if it's good information, you're questioning it now because of AI. I cannot stand it. It should, at some point, Jack, there's going to have to be so many new laws or regulations, and I can't stand that either. But at some point, it's just going to have to be done because it's out of control. Like this kid sitting in his living room, wherever the hell he was, is making himself look like the prime minister of Israel. I mean, I hate it.
Yeah, the reason that I showed this is to show everybody that a live can be done where people can think it's one person, And the reason I point that out is because Netanyahu supposedly did this live, but there were no international or foreign reporters allowed in the room with him. That's why you saw, the double split camera rather than the one camera pan, because there were no international or foreigners allowed in the room with him. So, I mean, I'm not saying, anything. I'm just saying that with this kind of thing, there is no possible way to know unless you see it either in person or you see other people that you trust agree that this is him, because how do you know what's real anymore? I'll tell you how you know what's real. Third-party perspective. other people agreeing that it's real. Otherwise, it's a hallucination.
I think sooner or later, even if we see somebody live, is that really going to be the person? Unless you go up and touch them and like
in
shake
person.
them.
In person, yeah, I don't know.
I mean,
because like that guy said about the cloning thing, that I do believe. Honestly, I do believe it because we've seen things like the Joe Biden, like the Zelensky. You've seen that shit.
Oh yeah, we saw this. That's Zelensky body double. We saw. I mean, that's confirmed Zelensky body double that we saw in those photos.
And it was him to a T. It had his hair, face. It had his exact clothes, everything.
Yeah, absolutely. But when it comes to AI, I mean, and who knows when these humanoid robots, right now we're seeing these humanoid robots like the one that came out with Melania Trump today. I got to be honest with you. I hate these. I hate them too. I hate these robots. I don't like looking at them. I don't like the way they walk. I don't trust them as far as I could, hit him with a bat and try to take his head off. I don't trust them. And as soon, Jack, when are these humanoid robots going to be, listen, the Terminator. Do you remember the Terminator? How far away? I don't
trust them either, Jay. And but the main reason I don't trust them is because they are going to take a lot of human jobs. Take a look at this. All right, this is just a regular human job at Amazon, but it's a robot.
Okay, figure robotics.
Doing this job. Look at this.
One pretty cool.
He's flipping over the packages. He's making sure that they're correct.
His job is to turn these packages upside down.
I want to kill that thing.
And I guess we can just take one.
That is very easy to take a human's job. Look at that.
Sorry about that. Oh, figured
and
it out.
He can work 24 hours a day, nonstop, Jay. Nonstop, 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a union either, Jack. So I don't have to worry about negotiating.
You don't have to pay him.
I look at that thing, and I remember the movie I, Robot with Will Smith, and he hated robots, even though he got a robotic hand because he lost it in the accident.
You love movies. There's at least 4 or 5 movie references every episode.
I love it. Well, listen, because I've said it all the time that this stuff that they put in these movies is the real thing that's either happened or going to happen. And they do it on purpose to make it, when it happens, you go, oh, that's just a movie. It can't be
that's
real.
why they did the Alien Independence Day shit and all that.
That's why I bring up movies all the time, and it's also fun. But he hated these robots. I swear to God, I watch those things. I'm watching that thing do that job. I want to take a baseball bat, and I'm not a violent person, but I want to take a baseball bat and smash that thing's head off. That's what I want to do. I'm sorry. That's how I feel.
Well, what about, so here's what I want to tell everybody that I think, and I read this somewhere and I believe it. In 10 years, because of these robots and AI, I think the unemployment rate will be up to 20%. 20% unemployment rate, because these AI can do any job on the computer that a human can do. Claude, forget about it. Robots can now do any physical job that a human can do. You saw the robots building the house that I showed you last week or last episode. They were building the freaking house. Robots can now do everything for you. I'm telling you now, the unemployment rate will be massive. It will reach 20% within 10 years.
Well, listen, I think it'll spike. There will be a spike, and then I think something will happen where there will be jobs created by AI that we're not thinking of yet. I have faith in that. I think that will happen.
It's not possible. What possible job could they create? Because they can do all the jobs. Why would they need to have a human when they have AI that they don't have to pay and robots that they don't have to pay, that don't need a break, that work 24 hours a day? I mean, damn, I would hire a robot over a human because A, I don't have to pay them. I just pay the 1 fee to get the robot. And B, I don't have to feed them. They don't have to have health insurance. They work 24 hours a day. I mean, it's incredible. I'm telling you, 20% unemployment rate, because they are going to take a ton of jobs, Jay, and there's not going to be any jobs created. What possible jobs could they create? Because they can do everything.
That's why I said we haven't thought of them yet. And it's kind of the same thing after the Industrial Revolution, when a lot of things went away and people said, oh my God, what if there's no more cotton gin? What are we going to do? How are we going to do that? Oh my God.
Yeah, but that was not something taking over where things were doing the job for them. That's not what that was. This is where everybody can be replaced by a robot that easily. Whatever you're doing, Jay, say you had a job, right? Yeah. Say you had a job. The only jobs that probably won't be replaced immediately are like the police, firemen, stuff like that, jobs that are critical. Other than that, any job on a computer, AI could do faster, more efficient, and a much better job. Any job that's like a warehouse job or a construction job or anything, robots can do it very quick and easy, 24 hours a day. They don't get paid. I mean, I'm not saying I want this to happen. I'm just saying I read this, a statistical analysis, and it's saying the unemployment rate is headed towards 20% in 10 years because of all the technology that is being built now. Imagine, Jay, imagine right now. Right now, they're taking people's jobs. Right now, they can do all this shit. Imagine where AI and robots will be in 10 years.
No, they're going to be way better than they are now. That's for sure. And yes, I think there will be a spike in unemployment and something's going to have to be figured out. And I hate the whole thing about universal basic income. I can't stand it.
They might even, I mean, honestly, that's a communist ideal. But if you want the truth, with robots and AI, they may end up having to go to that.
I hope not. I
hope not too, because that means they own your ass.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, of course. They would love this. I mean, these people, that's another thing. Democrats will put us on the fast track to universal basic income before it's even ready to be implemented. That was the whole point of trying to flood, millions of people over the border to crash the system and remake it in a communist socialist image. So yeah, absolutely. That's where they want to go.
This might be part of the plan, Jay. That might be part of the plan.
Yeah, they won't resist it at all. They'll welcome it. I mean, that's another reason why to stay away from voting for those lunatics. But yeah, when it comes to the robots and computers and AI, I'm also thinking, Jack, there's going to be problems. It's not all going to work seamlessly. There's going to be issues. These computers, these robots, they're going to make mistakes. And the mistakes that they make, some of them are going to be real bad. And that might be something that kind of maybe slows it down. And people say, all right, we're not there yet. It's going to take a long time to get it where we know no mistakes are going to be made. No lives are going to be lost because of those mistakes. Humans make errors too.
20%.
Yeah, humans make errors too, but we don't want robots. It's different when a human makes a mistake.
Well, yeah, but that's why I said the robot, they're going to make the mistakes, but the robots will be probably perfected within 10 years. I mean, 10 years is a very long time, especially as fast as our tech grows. There might even be something more advanced than AI by the time 10 years rolls around. I'm just saying that in God's honor, I'm not wishing for this. I'm just trying to tell people the truth. Like Paula says, doom and gloom. Reality is not doom and gloom. That's reality. If you don't like reality, I'm sorry. Get a virtual headset.
No, I say that all the time. It's not blackpilling. It's not dooming. When reality is there and it's not something we want to hear, you just have to kind of accept it or then figure out a way.
You got to be a realist. I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm a realist. I'm absolutely a realist. And people, you're a negative. I'm like, no. I'm just being real. I'm just saying what I see with my common sense, my logic. I'm just trying to figure it out. But maybe what you think in reality, you have a way to maybe combat that coming reality and maybe change it in a way. If you're just going to say it's doom and gloom and screw this, well, no. But if you accept the reality and maybe try to figure something out, that's
it. You gotta think about it and try to figure something out. Because because I will say that when I read that article and that analysis about the 20% unemployment rate, I mean that's very high. I mean that could cause communism, that could cause universal basic income, or it could cause this or that. So humans in general are going to have to find a way around this, because otherwise the robots may not have the robots and the AI may not have self-awareness, but they can still take over the world by doing everything. So we have to figure out how to control that. There's got to be some kind of laws, where they can only have so much, they can only do so much, or they can only, maybe you can only use them for these kind of things. I don't know.
Well, that's I said. Remember before I said with this stuff, there's going to have to be regulations and laws, and I hate saying that too because I hate regulations and laws. A lot of them, we are over-regulated, we are overlawed, But yeah, new stuff is going to have to be implemented. And Deborah brings up a good point that yes, the cost of goods will go down because of some robotics being involved in producing stuff, and stuff like Amazon, like you said, you don't have to pay them. It's a one-time fee. It's maintenance. That's it. You're not paying them salary. You're not paying healthcare. You're not paying for any of that stuff. You're not paying for vacations. You're not getting sued, if, whatever. So it's definitely, there could be an upside to that as cost of goods, but we have to really be careful with it. Maybe like you said, Jack, only a certain amount of the workforce can be robotic, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. It's got to be like that. Okay, so real quick, how would everybody watching right now like to know who actually owns BlackRock? How would you like to know who owns BlackRock? Because I can tell you right now, somebody actually weaved through all the financials and found out who actually owns BlackRock. And it's not Larry Fink, the CEO. BlackRock is the company that basically owns every other company in the world. Okay, they handle $10 trillion in assets, which is more than most countries all over the world. So how would you like to know who owns BlackRock? I'm going to tell you, and then he's going to show you how it comes. Bank of America owns BlackRock, okay? Bank of America owns BlackRock, and I'm going to show you how we got to this. Okay, so take a listen to this.
So I found out who actually owns BlackRock, but there's something really weird about it. Because by now we know that BlackRock is in the top 3 shareholders of basically every corporation in America and beyond. And they do this using our money in things like retirement accounts, pension funds, IRAs, exchange traded funds, mutual funds. But most people don't actually know who owns and controls BlackRock. We all know that it was founded by Larry Fink, and he's the face of the company, but he does not control it. When you try to find out who does control it, you'll usually find this list, which is the top institutional shareholders. Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street are right at the top, just like every other company. But this is not the whole story. Because if you dig deep enough, you'll find out that actually Merrill Lynch owns 45% of BlackRock, and they're considered an insider.
That's almost half of BlackRock. So Merrill Lynch is the one that owns most of the stock for BlackRock. But listen to this.
So they don't show up on the top institutional holders list. This merger took place in 2006. So actually Merrill Lynch controls BlackRock in a big way. But who controls Merrill Lynch? Well, Merrill Lynch is actually a division of Bank of America because Bank of America bought them out during the 2008 financial collapse. So who owns Bank of America? Well, nowadays, Warren Buffett is the top shareholder of Bank of America.
Yep. Berkshire Hathaway owns Bank of America, who owns Merrill Lynch, who owns BlackRock. So Warren Buffett owns BlackRock.
Because he owns Berkshire Hathaway, which is his billionaire investment firm. I'm still not sure what this top one is, this 25%. That's an anomaly, and I cannot corroborate what those shares are, but I found these shares. This is a screenshot from Berkshire Hathaway's 13F where they tell you all the things they hold. And I totaled up all of these Bank of America shares, and it equals 1,032,000,000 shares. That's 13% of Bank of America shares, equal to $33 billion. But I also dug in a little bit into where Bank of America came from and who founded them. And all modern banks are crazy histories of mergers and acquisitions and banks changing their names and merging with other things with money. Have any real ties to Merrill Lynch or Bank of America aware of that is really hard to find on the internet.
So the interesting thing about this, Jay, is that apparently Warren Buffett actually owns BlackRock because he owns Bank of America, who owns Merrill Lynch, who owns BlackRock. And you can see how they do it through all these different companies. So that way nobody can find out who actually owns BlackRock, but it is Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway. So if you see who owns the world, it's Warren Buffett that owns the world.
Not surprised. Warren Buffett's Warren Buffett's always the smartest one in the room when it comes to investing. He's always the one that says when everybody's panicking, you know, he always has the cash on reserve, Jack. He always has the cash on reserve waiting to pounce when things, you know, start to dive. He always knows when to get out and he knows when to get in. He's been doing it for 60 years.
Well, now he owns the world. I mean, he owns Bank of America, he owns Merrill Lynch, and he owns BlackRock. And BlackRock owns, I would say, at least in the top 3 shareholders of every company there is, every major company, because BlackRock controls, I thought it was 10, it's actually $12 trillion of assets. That is absolutely insane. Okay, guys, make sure you follow us. Okay, we got it. We need you guys to follow us on X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Instagram. Again, we're banned from TikTok, so forget about TikTok. TikTok sucks. We even put up videos on our own things, and they still, you know, screwed us over. We won the appeal, and they still won't give us any views. So let me tell you right now, TikTok is shit. Okay, so screw TikTok. But follow us. It's Secret America TV, X, YouTube, Rumble, Kick, Instagram, also Spotify and Apple. And we are every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern, every single weeknight. So yeah, just make sure you guys follow us. And Jay, you got anything to say before we go?
No, I am good. Great show. We will be back tomorrow, same time, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thursday already. The weeks fly again. Man.
It does. It flies by really fast. Make sure you guys watch. Also, you can watch us on LFA TV. That's rumble.com/LFA TV. Make sure you guys watch us there. All right. So I think we've solved all the problems we can for one day, Jay. So for Jay Gatling, I am Jack Danger. Thank you for watching Secret America.
You've been listening to Secret America.